Hello, peace, love, and blessings to you all. I am Malik Young, also known as Intuitive Ascension. So I'm just on here today talking to y'all about something that has came to me from spirit, or what some people call, source, or I say intuition because all those things connect in one way. Now, one thing that was coming to me was ancestors. Now, I made a video of me talking about why it's so crucial for us to respect our ancestors and why it's so crucial for us to keep the energies sacred of our ancestors. But I want to go deeper, and I want to talk about why me personally, why I feel that it's imperative, that we connect with our ancestors. It's one of those things where, let me just say this. Our ancestors was there for us when we was born. I know for me, my ancestors, my great grandmother, I tell people this a lot. My grandmother was like my mom, because my mom, she drove back and forth an hour away from school 5 days a week, and then also she worked. So my grandmother was pretty much like my mom. My great grandmother was like my grandmother. And I learned so much stuff from my grandmother and my great grandmother. My grandmother taught me how to not take crap from people, how to be self-sufficient. My great grandmother taught me how to cook. My grandma taught me how to clean. My grandma taught me how to just do so much stuff, take my talents, make stuff, do stuff. Everything I know now is due to my grandmother and my great grandmother, literally everything. And it's crazy because now, as I clean, as I cook, it's like I'm not only doing things for my soul, my spirit, but it's like their soul, their spirit is now combined with me. And I think this is due to me having a respect for them, and me, I say, giving back to them in death. We always talk about life, doing things in life, but we don't talk about doing things in death. And it's because Christianity and other Abrahamic religions make make it known that, when the dead is dead, they're just dead. There's no life to the dead. But that's a lie. Because you look at cemeteries, a lot of cemeteries are blooming with, birds and animals, and grass is beautiful and everything. And when you die, energy is just transferred, energy is never destroyed. So when you die, you go back to the mother. You go back to Mother Earth. Species eat you, birds eat on your flesh. Insects eat you. I don't know why I said birds, but when animals die and they just fall out, things eat off of them. You see crows eat things, etc., etc., etc. So when you die and you get buried in the ground, that's why I don't believe in embalming or anything like that. It's because I feel like when you get embalmed, you're actually destroying the natural order of life, because chemicals and stuff is going in your body, and it's toxic not only to the ground and the soil and everything, but it's toxic to everything. So ancestors is a crucial part for me in my life. Like I said, my great grandmother, she taught me so much. I used to be with my great grandmother 24/7. Even when I got older, like 2 or 3 years ago, before she died, I would drive 30 minutes away every day, make sure she's eating, make sure she's taking her medicine, because my great grandmother got dementia. She had dementia before she passed away. And I would make sure, she's doing well, because that's what she done. I remember times when my great grandma used to cook full course meals for me. Cook full course meals. Take me here, take me there, buy me stuff, and not only do stuff in in the physical, but in the spiritual. When it's time for me, when I was depressed, when I needed answers, my grandmother and my great grandmother was there. They gave me some of the best advice, you know. Same thing with my aunt. When my aunt was living, she taught me so much, you know. I say my aunt was the one that helped bring certain talents out of me. She told me, you know, you should do this, you should do that. Try this, try that. She helped me through a lot. So, in times of what I tell people need, in times of depression, in time of your anxiety, you always call on your ancestors because they was here for you in life, therefore you in death. Your ancestors are the first thing that when you become spiritual, whatever you want to call it, that's the first thing you connect with. You don't connect with God and all these different things. You connect with your ancestors. You set up your altar. If you can't set up an altar, you sit down and you start talking, because your ancestors is not the altar. They only come to the altar to receive energy. That's why you leave offerings. That's why you put food. Me, I put food, I put crystals, I put flowers, I put fresh water. I open up certain windows to let light in, let the sun energy in, and so on, you know. So my ancestors was a crucial part of my life daily. They was crucial. My grandmother, she took me back and forth to school every day. She was there. I remember I lived with my grandma for a moment, you know, for like a whole year or 2 years, because like I said, my mom was there for me financially, but my mom was never for me emotionally. She was never for me spiritually. She was never for me physically. My mom was always working, and I did not have a relationship with my mom at all. You know, I just did not. So I resonated, and when my grandmother died, I felt like my mom had died. And me talking now, I can still feel the emotions coming to roost, coming to surface. And if I keep talking about it, I'm going to start crying. Even though my grandmother passed away July the 4th, 2018, it's 2021 now, but that energy is still there. So our ancestors are a big, huge part of our lives. Huge part of our lives. And we have to keep giving them energy daily, because they gave us energy daily. They done this for us. They done that for us. So, and this takes me to the next thing of me talking about us as black people. Us as American blacks, we don't respect our ancestors. We don't give to our ancestors. We give to the church. We give to the pastors. We give to the preachers. We don't connect with our ancestors. We don't. The only time we connect with ancestors or our loved ones or whatever, 4th of July, you know, Christmas, Thanksgiving. But we don't connect with them every day. We quick to run to a church. We quick to try to talk to Jesus. We quick to do this. We quick to do that. But we're not quick to talk to our ancestors and give our ancestors love. Give our ancestors happiness and support, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But every culture does. Asian people, they respect their ancestors. It's like every other culture respects their ancestors and gives. And I'm not going to say worship, because I don't like that word worship. And I don't think you should worship anything. But I'm going to say love and care and show respect and dignity and honor. We don't do that. Just as much as you're supposed to honor yourself daily, you know, take care of yourself daily, eat healthy, you know, live your best life, do what you have to do. We have to respect and love and care for our ancestors daily also, because they are our first passage of protection. They are the ones that whenever some crap come down the pipe, when you need protection, you go to your ancestors. So many people is quick to go that come into the spiritual path They want to connect with this deity. They want to connect with that deity. They want to talk to this spirit. They want to do this. They want to do that. But they don't want to do the ancestral work that's necessary. They don't want to venerate their ancestors. They don't want to pour libation to their ancestors. They don't want to give offerings and connect with their ancestors. And I'm not saying, go out here and do all this stuff. I feel like your ancestral relationship should be something personal. I tell people, talk to your ancestors the exact same way you talked to them when they was living. When I go talk to my grandmother, I talk to her exactly like she was living. I go directly to my altar. I lay in my bed because once again, we are our ancestors. You don't need an altar. You don't need all these things. You are the ancestors. The ancestors is within. But for me personally, I like to have an altar just to take it a step further and just show my gratitude on a whole nother level. If you live with somebody that don't respect it, you can get a box or just daily go outside and pour water, etc., 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 whatever. You have to create your own path. You have to embrace your own spirituality, and you always have to first start with your ancestors. Okay? Anything you need, it is there. Anything you want, it is there. But it's up to you to first connect with them, help them, remove them out of indoctrinations, help them pass any pain. Did they die in fear? Did they die in anger? Did they die with anxiety and depression? You have to help them pull out of that, because they in the physical will help you pull out of that. This is Malik Young, also known as Intuitive Ascension. I love you all. And on that note, peace, love, and blessings to you always. Ashe.